This video explains the mechanics behind predictions and why events cannot be predicted with a 100% certainty. When we have dealt with how predictions come into being, we will discuss an event that with the current trajectory is almost unavoidable. You can support this work by subscribing and liking the video, helping these messages reach a wider audience. Right now, there are many prediction videos circulating. Some can be dismissed easily, others may feel convincing. The key is simple: use your discernment. Do not be led by fear or emotion. Some predictions come from light workers, others come from people who have had near-death experiences. Let's start with near-death experiences. In these states, people are no longer bound to linear time. What they often perceive is not a fixed future, but a strong probability. When they speak of earth changes, disruptions, or awakenings, they are sensing pressure building in the collective field. Sometimes these predictions happen, sometimes they don't, because the probability shifts. So while these experiences can increase clarity, they do not make someone all-knowing. Now let's look at prediction itself. Prediction is not seeing a fixed future, it is sensing momentum. What is perceived is a pattern forming, where human thought, emotion, hidden decisions, and larger cycles begin to align. When enough of these come together, a probable outcome starts to take shape before it appears in the physical world. There are a few key layers to this. First, the collective human field, our shared thoughts, fears, and desires. As these intensify, they strengthen certain timelines. Second, the structural world, systems like finance, governments, and technology. Much of this is unseen, but it still shapes what is coming. Third, the evolutionary layer, times when imbalance rises to the surface so it can be corrected or transformed. And finally, consciousness, the clarity of the person perceiving. True insight comes from stillness, not imagination. So prediction is really the sensing of convergence, many forces moving toward the same point. But nothing is fully fixed. As consciousness changes, outcomes can change. The future is not a destination waiting for you. It is a direction you are already moving in. And direction can always be changed. We're now going to look at a prediction that feels highly probable. But first, it's important to give some context. Over the past 10 years, we have received over 1,000 transmissions. Most of these have focused on spiritual insight, guidance, and personal topics, not predictions. So this is not something we approach lightly. In 2019, we received a transmission that spoke of a global event. Here are extracts from the transmissions. We are talking about the world at large, big global catastrophes which no one will have seen the like before. It has to be this way. No one will like it, and no one will understand why it is happening, because it will appear to target all people, regardless of race, religion, whether they are considered to be spiritual, kind, caring, or not. Things are building slowly already around the world, but it will reach a crescendo almost overnight. Other seers around the world are receiving this information too, so there will be a minority who know. It can't be any other way. At the time, we didn't fully understand what it meant, but we were not alone. Several other light workers in different locations received transmissions carrying a very similar theme, describing a global event, sudden in nature, affecting humanity as a whole. When COVID emerged in 2020, the meaning of these messages became clear. More recently, in early 2026, another transmission came through. There has been much speculation about the coming of another global catastrophe. How will it happen? Where will it begin? Can it be stopped? And what will it be? There are many sources of information, but only 10% of what is happening is actually circulated. Such is the power of the elite forces. Although this sounds shocking, and there is much more we could say, this is nothing new. The build-up of tensions around the globe, particularly last year, 2025, are now coming to a crescendo, and one of the places that will be hit will be the world of finance. We don't know yet how big or how widespread the crash will be, but, as with COVID, its effects will be massive. This time, the focus was on increasing global tension, building beneath the surface and moving toward a breaking point. One of the key areas highlighted was the financial system. We were not shown exactly how or when this would unfold, but the message was clear. The impact could be significant. At around the same time, other light workers again reported similar impressions about 6 weeks before the war in Iran. One described rising geopolitical tension, forces moving behind the scenes, with events that may appear sudden, but are in fact being set in motion over time. Preparations for the escalations of war are already happening, hidden under the veil of ideology and diplomacy. Shifting power dynamics are felt subconsciously/unconsciously by everyone, including leaders. The leaders who are at the losing end are acting up. Violence is the last resort of the weak. Absurd maneuvers are a sign of defeat. They are acts of desperation, an act of clinging on so tightly that the grip itself destroys what it tries to hold. The escalation of events may seem sudden, but they have been deliberately set in motion. That is just how geopolitics work. It's coming soon. When we step back and look at the wider picture, including current global conditions and financial signals, there are clear signs of strain. While no prediction is ever completely fixed, the convergence of these factors suggests that a major financial disruption is increasingly likely. We cannot say exactly when, but the sense is, this may not be far. Thank you for listening. If you feel value in what is shared here, your support through subscribing and liking helps bring this content to those who are seeking it. Where will it begin? Can it be stopped? And what will it be? There are many sources of information, but only 10% of what is happening is actually circulated. Such is the power of the elite forces. Although this sounds shocking, and there is much more